Today we're working on not the Miata, we're working on the daily. I got this Coolerworx Shortshifter. I've had it for a little bit now, just haven't had the time to install it. But before we pull the daily in, I have a buddy that just installed the same exact thing, maybe around the same time I bought it. But he told me that this bolt loosened up on him. So I'm gonna work on taking this bolt out and just putting some Loctite on it. But this should be a pretty easy install. It's going on a Fiesta ST. I've never worked on one of those, but from what I hear, pretty easy to work on. So we'll get started on this. Okay, got the bolt out. Just gonna put some Loctite on it and then put it back in. It does look like it doesn't have anything, so I'm guessing it's just the vibration that loosened it for my buddy. One thing, I had to use a vice grip because the piece in the back here is spinning. I wrapped it in tape so it doesn't scratch the metal, but you might need to do that as well. So I'm just gonna line it up. Let's put some blue in this one. We'll tighten back in and then we'll shuffle the cars around so we have room in the garage. Oops. Oops. It wasn't very tight, so I'm just gonna hand tighten this. Okay. Should be good. And we should be good to work on the car. I don't know what we need in terms of tools. I know we need a trim tool. We need to take out the center console. We'll see when we get there. Disconnecting the battery, I rolled all the windows down and I opened all the doors. The main thing that you got to do is take out the center console and then we can install the shifter from there. From what I've seen online, there's really not a lot to do. Just clips and bolts here and there. I think you do have to take this piece out using a trim tool, and then there's 2 bolts in the back. So we'll get started with the 2 bolts in the back. It's right behind the seat. It's really hard to see, but there's one right here, you'll feel it, and there's one on the other side. So for the most part, the way that this is attached together is very mirrored. Whatever you do on one side, just do on the other. So I'll probably just record one side and then you guys can do the same for the other, and then I'll call out whatever is different. But I've seen people start from the front and then go to the back. I'll do the back first since it's only 2 bolts, and then that way we can just work on the front. So let me grab a light. Okay, so this one's a little better. It looks like it is a bolt. I don't know. It's tiny. I think it's a 7mm. Let's see. Oh, it is a 7mm. And look at that. Not even tight. It's hand tightened in there. Let's take these 2 out, and then we'll start working on the front. Oops. Yeah. There we go. 7mm bolt. It was 7mm on the other side as well. Let me see if it's on. Huh. Okay. Same here. They're just hand tight, barely. Okay. So from here, we'll start working on the front. So I've seen people, at least one of the videos I saw, he started with this side panel and then he took this piece out. We'll start with an easy one. I'll do the shift knob first and then we can figure it out. So I should be able to just turn this. They did say that there was a spring right here. You want to be careful of it flying off. I guess the spring wasn't really doing much. So there's your spring, there's your shift knob. Just gonna put it in the cup holder here. And I did get started with this. Looks like there's a clip that's holding these two together. But from here, you can lift this up, lift this trim up. There you go. Whoop. Yeah, we're gonna want to be careful. That seems really flimsy. But yeah, let me look at some YouTube videos and then we'll come back. Okay, watch a quick video. It looks like I was on the right spot here. You just need to remove this and then you'll start removing the rest of these guys. The thing is, you don't want to pull out with this. You actually want to pull towards the back. So let me try doing that. There we go. Okay. So now you just start working on your trim piece to take out the clips all around on top here. So hopefully they're not too bad. There you go. 1, 2, 3. Looks like it all came off with it. So we got this one removed. You can kind of see that, sorry, I know there's some cables in there. So we have this area that had the clip. We have this. We have the bottom one here. I believe that's it, but basically you have to pull backwards for it to come off. This side is tricky because it makes you want to pull out, but actually you want to pull backwards with it. So let me just take this. This is a clipped cable. Okay. So yeah, the video that I watched did say you want to be careful with your clips coming off. So it looks like we are missing a few already. So it's these white pieces. So it looks like we lost it here, over here, and then on this side. That's fine, I'll figure it out. He did say that if it does come off, there's a good chance that it just fell in there, but it'll hold. Oh yeah, there's one right there. Like one that got stuck in there. Anyways, from here, let's take the shift boot out. This one just comes off like that. Almost there. And then I need to start working on these two side panels. Yeah, so you guys can kind of see it in the camera here. There's a screw all the way down here. It looks like a Phillips, but should have one here. Check it out. Well, that's fun. Looks like it's not a screw. It's a screw clip type thing. So yes, it does look like a screw clip. It was just spinning on me, so let's see if we can remove this. There we go. You have to put pressure on the ring on the outer side to unscrew it. And once that's screwed, it just flew off. Should be able to just remove this clip. There we go. But yeah, this is how it works. So as you screw this in, that thing gets expanded and tighter. I'll probably just reuse it. I have some clips on hand, so but I don't know if I have this size, so we'll see if I can replace it with something easier. But hopefully I don't need to do this again, so we'll see. So yeah, so that's one side down. Just to give you guys a recap, here's the other side of that panel. So you have a clip here, here, over here, and another one all the way at the end here. This was the hard one to reach through if you have your seat on. Some people take out their seats when they do this, but I figured I don't need to. and then you just have one screw clip. So that's pretty much it. After we do this, I believe there's only 2 bolts right here. Actually, sorry, almost forgot. We have these clips for connection. I don't think you guys need to remove or to disconnect your battery for this, but I did disconnect mine because I'm leaving all the doors open. I don't want my car dying. Pretty sure this one you just press and pull. Yeah, press and pull. Okay, we'll leave that like that. Move on to the other one. There we go. And then this last one that's being stubborn. There we go. Get it off. There's 3 over here, and from what I remember in the video, there's 2 on the other side. But again, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna show you guys the other side. This is the one that's pretty much mirrored. And yeah, after we take all these clips off and all the side panel, I believe you just need to take these 2 bolts out, and then we're kind of at end game there. So I'll work on the other side, and then we'll start working on the shifter. So now that we've gotten all the side panels out of the way, we'll start working on taking this guy out, which feels like it's another small one. I think it's an 8 mil. Oh yeah, nice. I'm not used to using this tiny sockets. So from here, I think we're pretty much home free. Just yeah. Oh, pull back this way. These clips almost broke on me because I pulled up. So pull back, and I think you have to slide it through the e-brake here. Actually, yeah, this is an easier way. You pull from the back up and then forward and then out. So here's the center console. I lifted it from the back up and into the front, and then from there it kind of came off a lot easier. So at this point we should be where we want to be. This whole unit is what we're going to be replacing. So I think we need to take out these 4 bolts holding it. We need to remove this from the socket. There's one guy on YouTube, I think Sparkplug Steve, he used a wrench to kind of pop it off, and then we should be good to go. The one thing I do want to talk to you guys about on this is looking at the instructions for this Coolerworx. Something that was, I think, is new that the other videos that I've looked at didn't have is basically we have to replace, yeah, this one and this one. This was sent to me with the box. So basically one of those, your connection to the transmission, so one of these guys, it might be this one, you basically have to take it, like cut it off, slide it off, and then shave this rod a little bit, so you use a new pop socket type thing in it. So I think they did that to prevent the breakage that was happening, that was being called out from other owners that had the Coolerworx. But let me get to work on taking this unit out. So we'll go from the bolts here, and I think we have to work on this because I wanna pop these into the new shifter before I bolt it in, because that's what my buddy told me. He's like, oh, it's gonna be easier if you pop it in and then you bolt it in. He said it'll feel like you're pulling from your transmission a lot, but he's like, don't worry about it. So we'll get to work on these guys first. We'll start removing them, and then we'll go from there. Try to make things easier for us. This one's pretty easy. So we got the 4 bolts out, nuts I guess in this point, and then we just need to take these out. So I saw the trick was to put one of these in and pop him out. There you go. I don't know if you guys saw that. I'll try it again here. Like, you slide it underneath and then you pop. Oops. You pop this back and make sure we're in neutral, actually. Okay, we're in neutral. You know what? I'm gonna call it in now. You guys should probably have popped those guys off before you took off the bolts, because it's making it harder for us to do it. So I'm gonna pop these nuts in, and then we'll take off the transmission links. I don't even know what they're called. I think they're called transmission links. Okay, so we have enough in there. So you just slide it in and then pop it up. This is very hard to do with one hand. Fuck me, man. What the hell? Okay, I got both of these things off. Man, that was really hard. This guy was easy, the side to side one. The front to back, I got this one. I don't know if I'm in 3rd or 4th gear. We'll just have to check once we install it. It's on there. So I had to pull out a couple more tools. What I did is I used this like flathead, a long flathead, so I have leverage. Slide it in here, and I popped it that way. And that worked. I already took this thing off. Basically what it is it just, let me try and get you guys a better angle. It slides out and then it just clips into this. So this one I haven't taken off, so you just need to pull it. Like, I have it pulled right now, and then you slide it off. There you go. And then you take out the whole unit. I'm just gonna use my impact on this because I'm being lazy. Here, to the side, and I should be able to just lift this whole thing off. So here's our old assembly, much shorter. Here's the new one. So it's much taller, but there are like points in here that makes the shift a lot shorter. So basically this hole is where these guys go. These right here. That's where the linkage comes in and then hooks onto these balls. So yeah, so it does look like the big one is the one that we need to trim off. Yes, I believe so. Yeah, because this is the left side and this is the point that you need to connect to. But yeah, you do have to take it off. That's so weird though. I wonder if I could use it without trimming this. Yeah, one of the cables must be modified to prevent possible shifter damage. So, but yeah, that's one thing. If you decide to put the original shifter back in after cable modification, everything will work as normal. So that's why I don't mind doing it, because if I go back to stock, it should be fairly straightforward. You can just pop it back in, except it's just gonna have a different tip, which I've been holding on to this for a while, so I have everything out here. And shout out to Whoosh, because he actually, because of I think supplies, he ended up shipping me the unit first, and then he gave me the shifter, which is super cool. But yeah, so this is what's gonna replace that fatter piece, but mine doesn't look like that, so I'm kind of worried. But I don't need to. Yeah, so it's the white end, so we are going for the cable that goes vertical rather than horizontal. Okay, So I guess we just do it. Remove the end with pliers. So I guess we're just completely dismantling it. Hopefully we don't mess it up. Okay, I'll bring this with me in the car. And then let's grab some snips right here. I mean, this has to be enough. I'll grab another tool if I need to. Alright, since we're completely breaking this, let me just really make sure we're doing the right thing here. But yeah, so this has the white clip. So I'm thinking this is what we need to do. And this is also the one that goes to the left side of the unit. I am in the US, so you know, driver's side is the left side of the car. So I'm just gonna stick with left and right because I know these cars are popular in Europe. So I don't know how to cut this off. Huh. Let's do this. Yeah, it's just step one. Remove the end of the cable. There's really no instructions on how, so I guess we're both learning together in this one. Okay. Not sure if you guys can clearly see here, but I'm gonna do a recap after we figure out how to remove this guy. It looks like we just start tearing into it, so. Actually, I'm not even gonna bother with the snips. I'm gonna use a multi-tool. Apologies if you guys can't see what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing here. Alright, I got it off. I don't know how they're expecting you to get this off. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's really hard to get it off. I used a multi-tool. I used these guys. I don't know why. I had a pry bar and a flathead that I used for the whatever for this to try and like at least cut it off, but I basically just mangled it until a good chunk of it is out and then took it out. So at this point we are done with step one. Alright, killing it. Alright, step two. Oh, I guess we're expected to put the shifter in so we can mock it up. So we'll like line it up to what side, and we'll use a Sharpie to draw it. We'll mark the position. Okay, so we're trying to prevent it from bunching, I guess, from like spinning around. So we're gonna grind it down so it has a flat surface, and then this new linkage has a screw that'll lock it in. So it seems fairly straightforward enough, but I don't know if I have the right tools for this. I think I have like a vice grip that we could use, because I don't know how I'm gonna grind it down or sand it down. Yeah, let's try it out. Let's try it out. Yeah, we're almost there. I'm just gonna leave things a little dirty. I'll clean it up later here. But I'm gonna grab the shifter assembly, put it in, and then we'll mock it up so that at least one side is in. I mean, it doesn't feel like this thing is spinning, so I guess that's the pressure that gets added to the boomerang, to the hinge. Because from what I've seen, this is the piece that tends to break a lot. Oh, sorry. This is the piece that tends to break a lot. So this is what we're modifying. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's put it in the car. See how it goes. Actually forgot that I'm gonna take this out, because basically the silver piece is what's locking those linkage end. So I'm gonna take this out and then just snap the linkages in. Let me see if it's a 10 mil. Yeah, it looks like it is. Hand tighten it like that, so we don't have to look for the hardware later. So basically, these guys slide in like so. All right, so got it mocked up. It's really jank, but I made sure that the clips in the back are in, like this, guys, are in, and then I slipped the connection to this joint. So now I'll just start marking. I have a Sharpie with me. I'll start marking the alignment and the holes, and then we'll start filing it down. I think I'm just gonna use the multi-tool again. Got it all marked up. I take this off. And try and be careful to not smudge the Sharpie. Okay. This off to the side. So yeah, I got it all marked up. It's fairly loose, so it came off, but not sure if you guys can see. I have my Sharpie marks in there. If I take this out, I also went ahead and marked the holes. Yeah, so you can kind of see off to the side there where the holes lined up. So I'll have those marked up. I'll double check that again, and then we'll file down one side, and then we're kind of home free at that point. We just need to finish it up. So I think it's gonna be best if we use a vice grip on it. Just gonna use the multi-tool to grind it down. I have like a sandpaper attachment for it. You can probably use an angle grinder and you'll be good. It's such a small piece to sand down, so I don't know. Even this one I feel is a little overkill, but we'll see. I have this small vise I'm planning on using. I think hopefully I could set it up so that it'll leave just enough so that we can just grind down one side. The only issue I have is I'm right-handed, and I feel like I'm gonna have to use my left hand a lot for this one. Actually, this is a pretty good idea. So I guess I could just turn it as well. It's not gonna mess with the angle or anything. Yeah, this is nice. Let's do this. It's working pretty well so far. I think I'm gonna call it here. It's not that much deeper, but it is flatter. And I think really the way that it's set up, I feel like you just need to have it flat so that the thread has a place to sit in. But basically this was my setup. I have like this really small like grip. It's perfect for this use case. So I don't know if you guys have this laying around. You can use a big vice grip as well, but just the cable being in this spot, it's really hard to work on it. Maybe take out the seat so you can kind of roll around in the floor here. I still have my seats in, so yeah, I'll put everything back together. I'm gonna wipe things down, and then hopefully we're all set from there. Got everything bolted up, it's all lined up. I'm gonna install the shifter back in. The one thing I'll tell you is try and like move these cables. I think this is the ECU. Try and move them around so that you have some room. Holy cow. That was rough. How the fuck? I have it fitted. The nuts aren't in there yet. This is really hard to put on. It's really tight. I thought I'd be pulling, but really you're pushing this cable in. because I guess this is on the US version is long. Another issue I have is this thread is butted to this piece, so I don't even know how to put the nut in because it was really hard to line it up. So it feels so sketch, but I mean, this is the world we live in, so we'll deal with it. Cool. I feel pretty good. I know I probably edited this as if it was pretty easy, but this is pretty tough. So this cable that goes to the transmission is too long, I think, for the US version of these cars. I feel like the shifter is made for the Euro version, but since it's too long, it's pushing everything back here, so you're gonna basically fighting it the whole time to push it back. And this is kind of the one that gave me the most grief. There's not a lot of clearance between this metal black piece and this nut, so I had to like wiggle it as I'm like tightening the nut. But at the bottom here there's a little slit, so after a while when you get closer to the bottom it'll be easier and you can just use your wrench. The other three are pretty easy. But outside of that, the only other thing that I really need to do is I need to tighten these small bolts so that the throw isn't too wide side to side. You see how like it's not even touching the bolt, it's supposed to be touching it, and if I go in gear there's a lot of play on it, so I'm gonna tighten that up a little bit. I did have to adjust this a little. I don't know much about it. I know you have from what I'm looking at, you have your two locking nuts, and in the middle is what's adjusting it to be longer or shorter. You can kind of see over here, every time I turn this it'll move. I'm gonna dial that in because when I installed everything I didn't have second gear, so yeah, see right now I don't have second gear, it's not going back down, so I just needed to adjust it a little more, maybe the other way. All right, adjust it a little. Now I have second gear, so that's one thing you guys gotta keep an eye on. I'm guessing it's the same setup for this guy, but for the actual vertical it feels like I'm in gear, but I'm gonna have to test things out. Yeah, it's once you put it on it feels really crappy. I don't have third gear. There you go, there's your third gear. You see how like you just kind of have to, at this point I feel like you just have to play with it until you dial it in, and then you tighten everything out. Okay, got my Allen keys. So from what I understand, the best way to adjust this, and I could be wrong on this, is you want to put it in gear and then you tighten the bolt that's stopping it essentially. So let me do a sample. So if I'm trying to go to the first gear, you go to the left on the shifter, right? You go to the left and you push forward. When you're going to the left in this assembly, when you go to the left, you see how like the bolts on the right are what's stopping it. So that's what we need to adjust to basically dial it in. You see how much gap there is in there. They say you don't want it to be like snug, like too tight, because you'll just have a hard time going in and out of gear, but you want it to be tighter than what I had in here. So the way that it's set up is, so you have these bolts sticking out from the left and the right. That's what you're tightening in to get your throw shorter from left to right. The bolts on top here, they're the ones that's locking it. So you want to set it, and then you want to tighten the ones on top to lock it in. And then as for this one, I've already talked about earlier. You have your locking nut, and then you have your adjustment. So I'm gonna adjust it so that I can hit all gears for now, and then I'll tighten these side bolts. All right, we're pretty dialed in for the most part. Got first gear, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and then you have your reverse. Yeah, so if I'm in gear, you see there's still enough play in there. If you go a little too tight, it's almost like a chore, I guess, to get in gear, and there's a chance for you to miss it. So I kept it a little looser than usual. For this one, I just adjusted it until I could get a set of shifts, so like from first to sixth, and everything went in. And then now I'm just gonna hand tighten it for now, the lock nuts, so that it doesn't get adjusted. But so far, feels good. Yeah. It's a bit of a hassle. I thought this install would be a lot easier, but it's not as easy as I thought it would be. Putting everything together is pretty much everything backwards. So you'll start with the side panels. Sorry, let me correct myself. You'll start with the center console, plug in your plugs, right? And then you'll do these side panels in, and then you'll do the middle. Let me do a test drive real quick before I do anything. So okay, quick update. This top bolt, I don't know if you guys can see that. I had to readjust it quite a bit. That's for the reverse. So when you pull the lockout up, that's what it does. Press the clutch in. See that? I had it aligned with first gear, so it was messing with it quite a bit, so I had to adjust it. Do a test drive. It's really helpful. I drove to my closest boba spot, so far so good though. It's really fun. It's not too short, so it's not horrible. It's usable. I like that it's closer to the steering wheel. That's really why I mainly did it. I'm so used to having my shifter close to the steering wheel. So yeah, I'm gonna drive back home, put everything back together, and then we'll close out the video. So far so good. Test drive is done. Drives well. I'm into it. Couple notes. I guess a review. The left and right, it's not straight anymore. It's like, it's kind of at a slant. Like you can see, like look at my hands here. I mean, it's not as noticeable when you're just shifting gears, but when you go into reverse, it goes at an angle. See how like it goes down? I don't know. It's not a big deal. I mean, because it's really only noticeable in reverse. So it's not bad. But yeah, I'm going to put together the car again, or the center console back in, bolt everything up, and we should be good to go. I'm going to run this without the shift boot, because I think it looks cool that way. But after I put the center console in and everything, I think I'm gonna like move it around, like test the shifts, because from what I've seen, this is the piece that tends to rub. So if it does rub, then I'll just use some sandpaper or whatever, and then like give it some clearance. But yeah, I'm into it. Yeah, if you guys want to watch the rest of the video, it's just me putting things back together. Quick update. It looks like this piece right here, I don't know if you guys can see where I marked it. It's hitting. So we have some clearance issue. So I'm just gonna trim it real quick. I don't know how. I have like a knife, a box knife that I have in here that I used for wrapping. Hopefully it's sharp enough. I'm gonna replace the blade and then we'll cut it up, see how it goes. And yeah, I think at this point we're almost home free. Everything is back. Center console's back, the side panels are back. I popped this middle piece in, and when I tested it, it had some clearance issue. So I'm not too worried about trimming it, because if we go back to OEM, that shift boot goes over here, so it's not as obvious, but I am trying to cut it a bit cleaner. I think we're about good. You can barely tell it's there, and the only way you can tell is because I told you guys. But yep, feel pretty good about that. Pretty positive that'll fit. When you guys pop this back in, be very careful of these clips right here. I already lost two. I had all of them when I popped it back in. It is what it is. It's not lost. It's like deep in there, and I don't want to pull everything out just to do this. So yeah, I'm gonna get to work on putting this back in. Cool. All right, I grinded it down, sanded it down a little, trimmed it a little more. Not too bad. I mean, not a lot of scuffs. There's no scuffs or scratches. Decent clearance, you know. It's close, but it's not hitting. It's also close down here, so I'm gonna just keep an eye on it, see how it goes. This is a daily driver, so yeah, I have a lot of miles with this one. I'll see how things are performing, but so far we're pretty much done. Everything is in place. We only lost a few clips on the way. You know, we had to trim one of these panels, but it's not too hard. It's pretty tough. I mean, I thought it was going to be easier, to put it that way, but it is what it is. You know, it's on there. It shifts. The shifts feel good. I like that it's close to the steering wheel. I still feel weird about that, like reverse being at an angle versus like a normal shift. You see how this is to the left? This is going at an angle. I did read that somewhere before, and so it's not, I'm not like, oh, this is weird. I kind of expected it. I was hoping that I wouldn't have it, but you know, you'll take what you get. But yeah, any questions on this one, just leave a comment. No, I'll try and answer it best as I can. This is the first Fiesta project. It is a Fiesta. I don't think I ever actually mentioned it. It's a Fiesta ST. It's a daily driver, so this is usually what I drive to work and home when I do have to go into the office. But I have more stuff for the Miata, and I'll have that recorded soon. But for now, I think we're good to close. Man, this looks really cool, like as is. I like the red shifter too. So yeah, just comment any questions, let me know.